Hello, and welcome back to the Formula Fun podcast with me, Sinead.
And me, Jay. Hello, everyone.
Woohoo!
How are you doing, Sinead?
I'm good, thanks, Jay. How are you?
I'm good. I'm going to be totally transparent and say that we've attempted to record this podcast 4 times in the past 48 hours, and but we're here, and we're going to give you the best podcast we possibly can. Technical issues, Wi-Fi issues, life issues, the lot. But we are here and we are ready to give our thoughts and opinions on the first race of the season, which was Australia, as we all know, last Sunday. We're going to talk about our thoughts about the whole race and the whole weekend as a whole, practice, qualifying, race overview, everything we want to talk about and bring up. We've got a couple of questions along the way. We've got then a couple of little other quizzes. We've got Quizifying as usual, but then we also have a radio message quiz.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're going to do our predictions. Well, we're going to find out our predictions and how they were for the Australian Grand Prix, see who's winning out of the Formula Fun Championship between Jay and Sinead. And then we'll go on to the Chinese Grand Prix, which is happening this weekend. So they're coming at us thick and fast. 24 races of the season, and I'm so here for it because Formula One is back, baby. So,
or is
Sinead,
it?
Or is it? Sinead, give me an overview of how you found the first Formula One weekend of 2026.
It was very exciting. I watched all of it, all the free practices, the qualifying and the race. You're probably sitting there going, well, duh, of course you did. But, for somebody who's a newly minted fan, like last year I sort of dipped in and out of the FPs, the free practices and the qualies where I could get them. But this year I'm going to do the whole whole shebang. So, the free practices were interesting because I think, well, for me especially, as we know, my favourite driver, Mr. George Russell, I was keeping a close eye, particularly on him. And I thought it was interesting that, FP1, he was like, let me get it here, not even in the top 5. And then FP2, he came 3rd. And then FP1, he came 1st. And then he qualified on pole. So I feel like he was he was just creeping up there the whole time. And I thought it was just interesting to watch all of how all of the drivers progressed over that time, some for better, some for worse.
Yep.
So yeah, it was really interesting, and to see like Aston Martin kind of struggle was very difficult to watch as well. But yeah, what did you think of the let's say the pre-race warming up?
I think the weekend as a whole, I am very conflicted because I'm very happy that Formula One's back. I've watched it since I was 7 years old, maybe even 6, and I am just a little bit like, okay, these are the new rules. This is what we've got to get used to. They're locked in for quite a while, and I think there's a lot of adjustments that are going to continue to be made. I think in terms of the pre-race stuff, so practice, interesting to see that people like Verstappen were having quite a lot of reliability issues, when I think what came out of testing was, everyone's doing really well in terms of reliability, but apart from Aston Martin. But Verstappen had a couple of reliability issues, so he didn't get much running in. Mercedes, like you say, started every single session to turn the wick up a little bit and make the engine a little bit more powerful, and they really started to show their hand. The free practice 2, they did a long run, as in like a race run, and everyone was like, oh god, they're so fast. I remember Leclerc was like, we knew they were going to be fast, but we didn't think it would be this fast.
Yeah.
So Mercedes were definitely like, they're definitely the ones to beat. Now, I think we've spoken about this before, but in 2014 there was a massive rules regulation change, and it was on the engine side. Mercedes came in with Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg and swept the floor with all of them. It was, Mercedes was just light years ahead. And everyone went, this year won't be the same. I think it is going to be the same. But we'll see. I think a couple of other talking points from practice. There was a time when Lewis Hamilton in his Ferrari was flying down the main straight as fast as he could because he was doing a lap. And Franco Colapinto in the Alpine was harvesting energy, managing his battery. I don't know what he was doing, but he was on the racing line. He was going very, very slowly, and Lewis Hamilton nearly careered straight into the back of him and took a last minute, just to get around him. And everyone was like, whoa. People would go, hang on, a driver has eyes. Why didn't he see him? Because they're looking at the steering wheel throughout most of the lap. Keep your eyes on the road.
Yeah, I think Lando Norris even said, because Lando Norris drove over like a pretty significant piece of debris, didn't he? And people in the interview were like, well, why didn't you just avoid it? And he said, I'm looking at my steering wheel every 3 seconds or something like that. Like, he's like, I don't have the capacity to, there just needs to not be debris on the track. Like this huge, it was
a fan that called the side pod of Kimi Antonelli's car.
Yes. Yeah.
Speaking of Kimi Antonelli, free practice 3, Saturday morning, 2 hours before qualifying, right at the end, Kimi Antonelli stacks it into the wall and, from what I thought, looked like he wrote off the car.
Yeah.
Front suspension, rear suspension, broken. To which everyone was like, oh no, Mercedes are so fast. But now they don't have a driver.
Ha ha ha.
Mercedes somehow managed to rebuild that car. The chassis and the engine were unharmed. It was just suspension, wings, lots of other pieces. And they managed to rebuild the car. So yeah, we got into qualifying. I think a huge thing in regards to qualifying was Max Verstappen coming into turn 1 and just suddenly the car spinning round. To which I then text a couple of my friends going, dude, Max Verstappen. I was so proud of myself.
Oh my God, have I ever told you about the punny joke that my dad loves to say? My dad doesn't watch Formula One at all, but obviously he's noticed the uptick in my interest because every time I'm at his house on a race weekend, I have to have the race on TV.
Of course.
This kind of only works if you're from Northern Ireland, but he keeps saying, Max, he's not Verstappen.
Right, you need to bring a new joke that your dad says about Formula One every week. To
what,
the podcast.
every week?
To see if you can do it. Yeah, every time you're watching a race day, you need to be like, Dad, think of another joke. Oh, Charlie. Yes, qualifying we got to, and Max locked up going into the first turn, crashed out. That was a big shock, but it also meant that a fast car would be starting at the back. Let's see if they can overtake. The whole thing about Formula One over the past... definitely the most recent regulations, and maybe even a bit before, it was very much with a focus on qualifying. So qualifying would happen, and if you qualified first or if you qualified 5th in the race, there was a high chance that you were going to finish 1st and 5th. In terms of there weren't many overtaking opportunities, it was all done via the pit stops, or it was done on the first lap. Whereas, and everyone was going, oh, but the racing's rubbish, which it was truly awful. And that was because of the downforce levels. Here comes nerd chat. Imagine you're on a motorway and you're quite close behind a lorry driving in your car. You can sort of feel the air disturbing your car a little bit. Or when you overtake, you can feel there's a little wobble because the air's different. It was that times a million for these Formula One cars. As soon as they got close enough to get behind, the dirty air or the disturbed air that was coming off the back of the car in front was making it really difficult for the person behind to stay there. And it was also graining tyres. Tyres were falling off a cliff, so they didn't have enough grip. So it was really hard to overtake. Now, the cars have a lot less downforce, which means there's less disturbed air coming off the back of them, which means it should be easier to follow behind. And yeah, that means that there's now more of a focus on racing, which is better for us as a viewer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, back to qualifying.
Well,
getting ahead of myself.
Speaking of Max crashing out in Q1, I wonder if this is not the most qualified Q1 lineup of all time.
Most qualified Q1 lineup.
So what I mean by that is the drivers that went out in Q1 were Verstappen, Alonso, Perez, Bottas, and Sainz. And Stroll. between those drivers, they have 123 Grand Prix wins and 6 World Championships between them.
Of course they do. Yeah, okay. What? Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of crazy that like that was the Q1 lineup that we started with.
I think the grid in general, like as a whole, is probably the best it's ever been.
In terms of how close the drivers are in ability?
Just in terms of, like, there was a stage at one point where it was a lot of, like, pay drivers, so a lot of people were paying for their seat, and they probably just weren't as talented or as quick as the others that were around them, whereas now I feel, on the whole, I'm not going to shame anyone and go, apart from this person, but I think at least 95% of the grid are, like, very, very good drivers, so the talent's up there, which is great. But yes, that's interesting. Yeah, actually think about it, because obviously Verstappen has 4, Alonso has 2, Perez has won multiple times, Bottas has, Sainz has, Stroll, he's qualified on pole once.
Well, he did qualify on pole,
So anything else that came out of qualifying? Stroll failed to get out at all. Aston Martin. Oh, they've put so much money into this whole, like, wind tunnel facilities. They've paid Adrian Newey an obscene amount of money, and they've come here and they were like, "Oh, can you not just replace the engine?" And Adrian Newey was like, "We only have, well, like, at the start of the weekend, 4 batteries." yeah. At the start of the weekend, they had 4 batteries. Going into qualifying, they had 2, and then they went, "Can you not just ship one out?" And he went, there isn't any made. We have no stock." So I'm like, "Oh, you've got Australia and China to do a race with a battery in each car, and that's it, and your reliability is terrible?" Okay. So, Stroll didn't get out for qualifying. Alonso nearly, though, creeps into Q2, which I was very surprised about. Then Colapinto knocked him out. And then something that really shocked me in qualifying, really shocked me, is how slow the cars are. Now, a lot of emphasis has been put on this battery power, which means, and I have an electric car, the power that's delivered when you put your foot down is insane. But they need to charge up this battery. We've spoken about this whole recharge thing and all this stuff to keep the battery topped up. They're coming off the throttle so early before a corner, and then downshifting, and then going through a corner that used to be taken really quickly. Like, there's a particular corner section in Australia which was like, really quick, fast round a left and a right. Now they're slowing down, coming down a gear, and I'm just like, oh, where's the challenge in this? Alonso said after one of the Bahrain tests that the chef could drive around turn 12 of Bahrain, which
I saw that.
Is usually a high G corner. When I say G, I mean gravitational force, gravitational lateral load. Whenever you're going around a corner, it's a really fast speed. You can feel like your body moving. That's all gravitational force and pull. And, they used to go through it like 5 times the force of gravity. Now they're not, because they're slowing down so much to recharge the battery to go through the corner and then be able to put the power down again to go really fast down the straight. And that's the bit that is sticking with me as a whole of what these regulations have done. And they're here to stay, but you're hearing a lot of drivers going, it's not as fun anymore. And on Formula Fun, you want fun.
That's true. But, let's give them time. Let's give it a few. Big changes always sort of take a little while to settle. You never know. The drivers might figure out a way to increase their speed on corners once they've really got themselves acclimatized to the new cars. But I sound like my mum, like trying to be
you are right. And I think a lot of people go, inherently humans, we don't like change. But at the same time, everyone for the past 3 years was probably going, the racing's rubbish, they're not overtaking, and there's not enough action on track. I'm falling asleep during the races, it's slow, like what's going on? So the racing itself was good, which brings us on to the race.
Woo! Yeah.
Go on. What have you got?
Well, I mean, the first, 15, 20 laps were really, really exciting. I mean, you had George and Charles overtaking each other like they were in a video game, just like wacky races. And again, I think you mentioned earlier, you said something about maybe there's a level of an artificial quality to it, in that, like, yes, there was lots of overtaking, but what did it really achieve? It was because one would overtake and then have to conserve, which meant the other one could overtake him, but then he would have to conserve his energy, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it was great to watch though, because as you say, in the previous times, like I think when you said before, like if you qualified on pole or you qualified on fifth, if something horrendous didn't happen, like you crashed or your engine broke down, there was a pretty high probability that that's where you'd finish. Whereas with this kind of ability to change the position of your car within the space of the race, for me that's really exciting. And
But
I
did you
did
get
enjoy
what was going on? Did you get did it make sense?
That's a good question.
Yes, there was lots of on-track action, and the first lap, as we thought of the Ferraris were going to be fast off the line, they were very fast off the line. Charles Leclerc went from 4th to 1st. Lewis Hamilton went from 7th to, by the end of lap 1, 3rd. Antonelli had a terrible start, and I mentioned earlier that he crashed his car at the end of free practice 3. They managed to fix it in time for qualifying, and then he qualified 2nd. So Antonelli, massive get-out-of-jail-free card, and also thanks to Max Verstappen for crashing. But Antonelli had a terrible start. He dropped back to 7th.
Yeah.
Hamilton got up to 3rd because the Ferraris were just lightning off the line, as we all thought they would be after testing.
Yeah.
Which then meant we just assumed, because Leclerc in a slower car was in front of Russell, it meant that Russell in his lightning-fast Mercedes was overtaking. As soon as he overtook for the first time, I was like, okay, game over, done. Russell's going to race off into the distance. And then, like you say, it was a back and forth for like 15 laps. It was great to watch. From my perspective, I was like, but I don't know why. Like, I know they've got batteries. And I know that one's depleting and one's not. One now has overtake, one just has boost. Sort of the same thing, apart from overtake gives you a bit more. When you're a second behind the car ahead, you get your boost turns into overtake, which means you have more power. But there was like a detection line on the final corner. I don't think that was mentioned once in commentary. That there was that. They're within a second. They've got overtake, and then when, like, as a viewer, I want to see when George Russell is hitting his overtake button and what that is doing to his battery and how he's going to recharge it.
Yeah.
Now, yes, we saw the on-track action, but I was like, but I don't get why this is happening and how it's happening and how, okay, it's happened for 3 laps in a row now. What are they going to do differently? Oh, he pressed it on this straight last lap. Maybe he'll press it on another, and you try and start guessing what the drivers are going to do and put yourself into the driver's shoes, and you can't do that when you don't have any information. Now, there was some onboards where occasionally a little battery power would come up, and then there'd be like a recharge button, and there was so many things
and there
happening.
was a few times where they put like a little battery graphic at the bottom of the screen when two drivers were racing each other. But it was very inconsistent. Like, they literally did it like 3 times.
Right, and do you know why? So they said at the start of the race, commentary were like, we should be getting a graphic at some point. Firstly, what? Like, at some point, you've had a shakedown, testing, and the practice, and the qualifying, and you're going, there might be a graphic halfway through the race? Huh? And they were different graphics. So there was one which was like, it had recharge and then boost, and they were both, one was yellow, one was green, and then one would light up, and then the other one would light up at the same time, and then the battery would go down, and it was like 2 cars. Then later on, they had a different graphic, which was battery percentages of what they had, and I was like, okay, that's great. That's sort of what I want to see. I want to see the percentages. Oh, Alonso has 20%. Well, Alonso has minus a million %, but Russell has 20%, Leclerc has 40%, therefore Leclerc's going to have more energy and more... a new battery thing, which was great because it meant that, Alonso's got 20%, well, Alonso would have minus a million % battery power, but Russell has 20%, Charles Leclerc has 40%, therefore Leclerc's got more of a chance, more energy, he's got more chance to overtake. Great. If that's the graphic we have, wonderful. My next thing, going on a rant, I'm sorry. My next thing is, I think there was like 120 overtakes in Australia. Last year, there was 60.
No,
60
I think less than that. 40. I think 47 or
47.
Yeah.
More than double the amount of overtakes.
Yeah.
Great. We were watching the Charles Leclerc and George Russell battle, which was exciting.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Max Verstappen's gone from like last to 9th.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's almost too much action happening that you can't have a broader picture of what the race is.
Screen or like
which is chaos.
Yeah.
Like
I know
like
they have the little inlays, don't they, sometimes of the drivers'
little mini box,
you can't really see anything. It's not unless you have a huge TV screen. Like
and you could have you can ride on board with different drivers, but it's now almost like so fluid and, dare I say, artificial that you can't keep track of everything. Now, it's F1 is stuck between a rock and a hard place, because I remember an overtake of Spa, Michael Schumacher and Mika Hakkinen, and Mika Hakkinen had been following Michael Schumacher for ages, and then there was a back marker in the middle, and they both basically split this back marker and went past, and Mika Hakkinen took the lead. He worked so hard to put himself in that position for 20 laps to get there. Now, I just have a bit of extra boost, therefore I'm going to overtake you whether you like it or not. But it's a case of how I manage that power to then not be overtaken again. But the overtakes are not as rewarding. So you live for those blockbuster moments of that happening, because it's something you can see being teed up. You can see it potentially. Is it going to work out? Is it not? Or they tried it, or it didn't work because they were too gung-ho on the brakes, or they weren't, or they've gone off, or whatnot. Whereas now, does it feel artificial? I don't know. DRS felt artificial when it first came out. Me personally, need to give it a few more races.
Yeah.
Because I was watching it going,
I also think with overtaking, for example, with everything in our whole life, in terms of our advancement as human beings, let's say, the skill involved in an overtake, the skill that you need to deploy is different now than it was in the mid-noughties. And it's about their drivers honing those skills. So the strategic, the battery management, the energy management, whatever, the more the drivers get accustomed to how exactly they're going to be clever enough about it that they're going to maintain their position. Maybe it's more of a mind game and maybe that's not that interesting to watch, but
and I think with maybe the track was different as well. Maybe the jury's out. Maybe I think we need to see 4 or 5 races to work out exactly how this sits. Although what I will say, in terms of Ferrari making those lightning starts off the line, and the other teams are going to sort that out. So if you watch the race on Sunday and went, this is amazing, Ferrari can qualify 10th and be first by the first turn. No. I'd say in 5 races time, all those cars are getting off at the same speed. So enjoy the chaos.
Speaking of which, did you notice how the red lights, how quickly they went out?
So fast.
Did you see? Yeah. So one thing I didn't know until maybe halfway through the season last year, and maybe for new converts, maybe you didn't know this either. So the red lights are a second apart, but then the drivers don't drive until all the lights go out, lights out, and away we go, as it were. But the time distance between the last light lighting up and the lights going out is never the same. It's done manually by a human being, and it's so that the drivers can't count, can't get into the rhythm of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, foot on the pedal, or whatever it is they do to start. And in this particular race, it was milliseconds from the 5th light lighting up to the lights going out, which I
It
thought
almost
was
didn't
like
feel like the fifth light even came on. It went
no,
like
it literally
4, 5, go.
flashed and then it went off, and thought that was like kind of a cruel trick. I mean, a trick's not the right word, but this is their first time launching in these cars.
Yep.
That's kind of mean.
Did you see Colapinto?
Yes, I didn't see it, but
So
what happened?
Liam Lawson stalled on the grid. Colapinto
yeah.
got quite a good start, and then
Yeah.
if you see the onboard, it's on Formula One Instagram, whatnot.
Is this where he literally
disappears? Yeah, it's literally where he knocked his mic over. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
He lightning reactions to sort of squeeze through a gap, which is probably about the width of a Formula One car, millimeters away from hitting Lawson, millimeters away from hitting the wall. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very, very quick. And I remember, I think Leclerc said on the radio something like, that was cheeky.
Yeah, it was.
But yes, I've got a really, really quick story. I will do this in 30 seconds. There was a time where there was some sort of frequency that was heard just before the lights were being pushed. This is like 90s, maybe 80s. No, I think 90s. There was some sort of frequency that would like ping just before the lights were like turned off for them to go. And some teams had found this radio frequency where this noise was happening. So the teams would have in their ears a little, and that was them going, lights going to go off, go. So they were getting really like much better starts. The FIA found out about this and then did a start procedure for a race. The same frequency went, but the lights stayed on, and about half the grid set off, and then went, oh shit. So yeah, we've changed
like
that procedure.
Christie moment.
Yeah, we've changed that procedure now, and they were like, sorry. I thought I've just got some random talking points here. Stop me if there's one where you're like, yes, I thought the same.
Yes.
Lack of team radio. I thought, again, I think with it being the first race of the season, everyone's getting used to it, but I just find that weird in itself. The fact that they're going, we're going to try some graphics. The commentators talking about battery power like it was a bag of sweets. Shush. That being said, they haven't a chance to commentate on a race, so they need time to figure it out as well. I get that. But don't talk about sweets. Needs to make sense to the battery levels. This is, however, the racing that we now have. Max had a great race.
Yep.
I somehow managed to claw up to P6 behind Norris. Aston Martin treated it as a test, which is, I think, what we all expected.
Yeah.
Right. Now, AI. This is my new rant. AI. Teams are using AI to work out where the car should be deploying maximum power on the racetrack. And it's learning the more the car goes around the track. Okay? You'd expect that, I guess. But that's annoying, because I think the dream of this new formula that was sold to us was the driver decides when to push boost and when to push overtake. It seems like, actually, the boost is sort of just happening on the car the more it learns where it's going to best strategically deploy the boost.
Yeah.
There's drivers going down the straight and not knowing when their power is going to suddenly come, die down again, because they don't have control over it.
Yeah.
From what I can understand from what they're saying and from what's been going around. So you'll be going down the straight, and I'm like, and they don't know when that's going to happen. So as much as they might be defending a position, they can't do anything about it because the car's just going to sort of cut out and slow down because of energy management. So AI is doing this thing where it's like it's learning all the time for all the teams. Oh well, I know 3 teams are definitely using it. This is why Oscar Piastri, on the way to the grid, going around the track really slowly.
Yeah.
As soon as he touched the throttle coming out of a turn, AI said, "Oh no, you need more power."
Okay.
Crashed into the wall. Australian out of the Australian Grand Prix before it even started.
Yeah.
So it takes the boost and the manual driving and the skill element out because AI is sort of driving the car. Yeah, in terms of like the power delivery.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't need to, you're preaching to the converted here. I don't know if you personally know my feelings on AI, but like I think it's like the worst thing that's ever happened to humanity.
Not ideal. It's not ideal.
So yeah,
There's
I agree. I didn't know that was happening, but I any kind of superfluous use of AI that can be done by humans to a better degree or a more interesting degree should stop happening.
Yeah. I think there's purposes to AI that can be
So do I, but for
benefit.
Yeah.
But in those, I just think you're taking all of the skill and the decision making out of the driver's hands.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's still an element of I'm going to press overtake on this straight this time. But I think the battery management, boring, is just always going to play such a huge role in this. And I think AI is now a thing. So that's my AI chat. Arvid Lindblad, third by the end of lap 1. Rookie.
Amazing.
Absolute legend. Banged wheels with Hamilton at the end of lap 1 as well. Like, wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty, and it was just well done. He's arrived. He's cracking. I remember Karun Chandhok did a piece 6 years ago, and he was like in a go-kart he was talking to Arvid Lindblad, who was driving a go-kart at the time, and I was like, he's going to be in F1 soon. And they've literally, I think, developed a beast. We'll find out.
Yeah, seems like it.
Isaac Hadjar.
Oh, I was so upset for him, and he was so like defeated on the team radio. He qualified third. Yeah, he qualified third, which is just really amazing for him, especially going into the quote unquote cursed second seat at Red Bull, and then to have that kind of taken from him, not through any fault of his own, I was really sad for him, because I really
gutted. But I think great showing. Like, I know, yes, Max Verstappen, again, I think this whole AI thing had something to do with that too. But Max Verstappen crashed out in qualifying, started at the back of the grid, and Isaac Hadjar held his own, got third, and was great. Which also, I think, does suggest that Max Verstappen, if he is up to speed, would probably be ahead, which means have Mercedes got it all their own way. China will tell all. Oliver Behrman, great race, as always.
He changed the bear on his helmet to a koala.
Koala bear, love that.
Oliver Koala Man.
I love it. Yeah. I saw that.
That's what I took from his race. That's the extent.
Nice touch. I like Behrman. He's very well spoken. He's lovely. Good battle between the French of Gasly and Ocon. I enjoyed that. Gabriel Bortoletto, P9, first race for Audi in qualifying, showing a lot of speed as well. Amazing. I was gutted for Hulkenberg, technically last, because they lost connection with his car and they couldn't sort it. Maybe the AI said, "Stop using me." The race was potentially ruined in terms of what we were getting as fans. It was potentially ruined by a VSC. Sinead.
Yes.
We've been asked a question. What is a VSC?
Well, the letters VSC stands for Virtual Safety Car. And it's whereby there's something has gone on the track that's enough to get the drivers to kind of take a safe speed so that it can be rectified. So like debris on the track would be an example. But it's not so bad that they don't physically have to get a safety car out. Yes. But it does have all the same rules as a safety car. So you have to drive at a certain speed. You're not allowed to overtake. You can pit if you want to get what is essentially a free pit stop in. And that's all I know about VSCs.
Good. Well done. You're learning.
Thanks. Thank you.
A VIC neutralizes the race, but not. It's only when it's not critical enough to bring out a safety car.
Yeah.
So when a safety car is deployed, it's because usually a crash has happened on the track, and they need to sweep out all the debris, and they need to clear the car away. And for that to happen, they need a big space of track or timing where they can do that with marshals on track and things, health and safety, etc. So a safety car is safety car, which is either an Aston Martin or a Mercedes, pulls out, all the cars line up behind the safety car and drive around the track very slowly. What that does in terms of when the race gets going again is all the cars are really close together and converge. So George Russell builds up a lead of 40 seconds. That's gone as soon as the safety car comes out. VSC, all drivers need to decrease their speed by 30 to 40%. And when there is a marshal on track, lower again. But if George Russell is 40 seconds ahead, at the end of the VSC, virtual safety car, he will continue to be 40 seconds ahead because everyone has adhered to this, like, slower speed. Yeah. And that is what a VSC is. Another question came in about what does it mean to unlap yourself? Do you want to do that one?
Ooh. No, I don't want to do that one.
Okay.
Because the whole concept of lap, it sounds so stupid when it comes out of my mouth, but like, I don't understand.
That's fine. So the slower cars, George Russell in his rocket ship of Mercedes is, let's, for argument's sake, say he is on pole position and he is roughly 5 seconds a lap faster than the people that are last on the grid. During the race, after about, 20, 30 laps, George Russell will approach the person who is in last place. That person is shown a blue flag because they're not allowed to race the person that's first because they're not fighting for position. They're shown a blue flag. After they're shown 3 blue flags, if they have not got out of the way, they're given a penalty.
Right.
So you're shown a blue flag. On a straight, you will probably move to the side, let them past, carry on racing your race. If a safety car comes out, I think it's for longer than 5 laps. The lapped cars are allowed to overtake after the incident has been cleared and it's safe. Before the safety car will come in, the lapped cars will be allowed to overtake all the cars, including the safety car, go round the track and get to the back of the grid, get to the back of the snake of cars, which means they've unlapped themselves.
Gotcha.
Make sense?
Yep. And is there a rule about, like, if you've been lapped X amount of times, then you have to stop racing? Like,
no. As Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll showed, because they would come in. They came into the pits
at
a
one
couple
point,
of times.
Alonso was like plus 15 minutes or something. Yeah.
22 laps behind at one point. Yeah. They just treated it as a test. So yes, you are allowed to do that. I think in the actual, Lance Stroll finished. Well, he's not classified. So actually, did an Aston Martin finish the race?
Yes.
Not classified, but classified as 15 laps behind is what I've got here. So yeah, they treated it as a test. Perez was 3 laps behind. Carlos Sainz, Colapinto were 2 laps behind. That's mental. That Carlos Sainz and Williams is 2 laps behind. He was sold a dream.
Yeah.
And then Lawson, Albon, Ocon, Gasly, Bortoletto, Lindblad, and Behrman were 1 lap behind. So yes, that is sort of explaining how the lapped situation goes. Gutted for Piastri though. Absolutely gutted for Piastri.
Yeah, me too.
Home race.
Me too.
Bad times. Okay, Sinead, who was your driver of the day?
Okay, so just on the topic of driver of the day, I watched the match.
Don't say
I
that.
watched the race. Sorry. I don't even watch sports. I don't watch any sports. I watched the performance a few hours after it aired because I'm not a psychopath. I can't get up at that time. It's just like let's not get into it, but yeah. So I think I watched it like 8 a.m. A full replay. And then when it flashed up on screen, like, vote your driver of the day. Now, I will say, when I got up in the morning, I didn't use my phone, didn't check it, like, didn't want to be spoiled in any way. So I opened my phone to vote for driver of the day, which makes no sense because it was the race was already over, but I just forgot. Opened my app, and the first thing it said was George Russell wins the Melbourne GP, and I was like, I was obviously delighted because he's my number 1 boy, but I was so raging that like I'd done so well to not be spoiled up to that point, and then so anyway, my driver of the day is Arvid Lindblad.
Same. Mine was
Really?
exactly the same. Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, he was class. He was very strong considering it was his first race.
I was surprised he didn't come in the top 3, of the actual driver of the day vote.
Oh, did he not?
It was like Verstappen, Russell, and Leclerc. It was like really uninspired. It was like,
okay.
oh yeah. Yeah,
no, Arvid was great. Really, I mean, for a first race to out-qualify and outscore Lawson, who's been there for a year now, should have his feet firmly under the desk. Thought he came in firing on all cylinders and fully charged battery to show a really good hand. Really good hand. Yeah, lovely. So both of our driver of the day are the same, Arvid Lindblad. I do want to mention about Ferrari. It seems as though Ferrari and Mercedes are close, though.
Yeah.
I think that it should be a good season. I hope Russell doesn't run away with it. Okay, radio message. Got a radio message. We've each chosen a radio message from the Australian Grand Prix, and it is our job to guess who said it. Would you like to go first?
If the message has a swear word in it, am I allowed to say the swear word, or do I have to?
Yes.
Okay, mine is, we should have had green lights earlier. I wanted to be first, and now I'm fucking last.
Green lights is suggesting green light from the VSC, so he's pitted. He wanted to be first. I don't know.
It's Lando.
Is it?
Yeah, and I thought the reason I picked it is because it's so funny that he's saying I wanted to be first and now I'm last. Because, last year he won and this year he's...
What was it in regards to?
I will find it for you. It was in the pit lane and it was coming out after the VSC.
Ah.
Yeah.
Did he mean he wanted to pit first, as in he wanted to pit a lap before?
I think maybe, but in the quote, that's all he says. So
love it.
Yeah.
I've been really nice and chosen a really easy one, but I'm going to say it in the same way that the driver said it. Are you ready? Very nice. I like this car. I like this engine.
Wait, Borat was driving the car?
Right. You listen to the quote. Genuinely.
Now, you said yesterday that we would probably get each other's ones because we did loads of listening too, but you'd be wrong about that, Jay, because I just listened to one, which is the one that I picked.
Okay.
So, just to make it a bit fairer. Very nice. I like this car. I like this engine. Oh, is it Antonelli?
No.
I didn't know there were any Kazakhstani drivers.
Neither did I. Watching the end of it, and there was a mention being like, was that a bull run?
Wasn't George, was it?
It was.
No, Georgie.
End of the race. I like this car, I like this engine.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes, that was George Russell. Okay, let's move on to our race predictions from last week, the Formula Fun Championship. So, in last place, it was Stroll.
Mm-hmm.
This is for qualifying, which we're actually going to get rid of. But the last place for qualifying was Stroll. We both went for Alonso, so no points.
Yep.
For either of us. In the race, who was actually last was Nico Hülkenberg because he never got started. I went for Sergio Perez. No points. Who did you go for?
Okay, I went for Stroll. Yeah.
No points.
Nil point.
Best of the rest was Mr. Oliver Behrman.
Did you get that right?
You went for... Who did you go for, Sinead?
Which, in my defence, if he had made it to the race, it's not a bad...
Maybe. I went for Oliver Behrman. 2 points. We're doing
Oliver
2 points.
Koala Man.
Yeah,
on.
if we get an answer fully right, we're 2 points. If we get them within the top 5 but not in that position, we get 1 point. That's how we've done our scoring system. Pole position was one George Russell. Who did you go for?
Woo! Obviously, I went for George Russell.
You did not. You went for Charles Leclerc.
What? Oh, pole. Yeah.
Pole
damn it.
position.
Yeah.
And I went for George Russell.
Oh, for God's
2
sake.
points. Top 5. We had in 5th place Lando Norris. I
Yeah.
went for Max Verstappen.
And I
Who did
went
you go
for Pierre Gasly.
No points to either of us. In 4th place, Lewis Hamilton. Who did you go for?
Antonelli.
So you get 1 point. Well done.
And you
I
get
went
2.
for
Oh my God, you got
Lewis
so
Hamilton.
many right. This is
In
ridiculous.
3rd place, in 3rd place was Charles Leclerc.
Yeah.
Or Leclerc.
Same.
We both voted for Charles Leclerc. In 2nd place was Kimi Antonelli.
And I said Verstappen.
Verstappen. And I went for Oscar Piastri. Sad times.
Yeah.
And then in 1st place was George Russell, and we both went for George
Russell.
So,
speaking of race predictions, really quick. So I also did a bingo card, which I haven't put online yet, but I will. And you're looking at me, but we haven't talked about this in this recording.
yes, it was probably one of the previous many recordings we've done.
So, let me start again. On the subject of predictions, I have made a Formula One bingo card for 2026. It's a 4x5 grid of various predictions of things that are going to happen in the races throughout the year. And the bingo card applies every single race. So race 1, we go through it. What did we get right? Great, move on. And then after the 24 races, we look and see, okay, which race garnered the best result from the 20 squares on the bingo card.
The most controversial race of the season, probably.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. So I'm not going to go through everything that's on the card. I'm going to make one and put it on Instagram if you're interested in seeing it or playing along. However, to this race, I said that a rookie or a second-year driver gets a podium, and that happened. Hadjar qualifies ahead of Max. That happened. Ferrari gets a podium. That happened. And Aston Martin finish a race, which technically did happen.
Okay. 16 laps behind.
And then I'm giving myself half a point because I have one that says the camera cuts to the partner of one of the drivers during a crucial moment. Maybe it didn't cut to one of the driver's partners, but it definitely cut to like someone's dad or a team engineer with his head in his hands during like a crucial like on-track battle. So I'm giving myself half a point. So for Melbourne, we have 4.5 out of 20.
Points. Lovely. Well done. Okay. Let's very quickly Chinese Grand Prix. I think I'm actually going to be really. I have no idea. I think it will probably suit maybe Ferrari a little bit better. I think there's a massive one of the longest straights on the calendar.
Yes. Yeah.
All the battery deployment in terms of boost, I think, is going to be used down that straight. I'm worried to see how far they get down the straight before we hear. And it goes really slow again.
I'll be listening out for that from now on because
Yeah, have a listen for that. Have a listen for the engine just dropping in speed and sound. So yeah, that's sort of. I don't really have any proper thoughts on the Chinese Grand Prix. I think it's going to be much of the same of them finding their feet. I hope we get more team radio, and I hope we can get an overall picture of what's going on. And now maybe they've worked out which graphic they want to use more often for this battery deployment. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah. Okay.
The only thing is, this week is different. We have a sprint.
Yes.
So a sprint race. So a normal. Do you want me to explain what a normal race weekend is versus a sprint?
Well, yes.
You sure?
Well, I
Do you
know
wanna do it?
I was going to attempt to explain what a sprint race is, but the thing is, I do know what it is, but I don't have any like kilometer knowledge.
That's
Like,
okay. I can give an idea of length. You go.
So a sprint race is kind of like a mini Grand Prix. The drivers do get points from it that add to their bid for world champion. So they do a smaller number of laps around
19.
the track, 19 laps. And no, I can't do it.
That's okay. So sprint races were brought in because everybody was going, oh, there's just so many practice sessions and there's not enough action happening on track and competitive sessions. This is for people that are going to the racetrack and also us watching on TV.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So they went, you know what, we'll do a couple of races throughout the year where we have another competitive session. It's now 2 competitive sessions because we have qualifying for the sprint, then we have the sprint. So normal weekend,
right.
A normal weekend is 3 practice sessions, 1 qualifying, 1 race. A sprint weekend is 1 practice session, no time to learn the car or learn what to do on the track, no time for AI to ruin everything. 1 practice session, sprint qualifying, sprint race, race qualifying, race.
Yeah.
So out of the 5 sessions that we have in a sprint weekend, 4 of them are competitive and for good viewing. In a normal race weekend, only 2 are qualifying race. It used to be that wherever they finished the sprint was where they qualified for the race the next day.
Okay.
That's now gone. So now it is a case of they're 2 separate races. But yes, a mini race, 1 stint, which I think is good because I think it was a virtual safety car that sort of ruined the race last week. I think it could be that, or pit stops might ruin a race because I think if there's a car behind that is definitely faster, they'll just stay out and then come out of the pits ahead. Whereas there's no pit stops. It's a sprint. It's just the lights to flag who can get there the quickest over 19 laps. I think it could be chaos. Definitely worth watching. It's at 3 a.m. UK time.
Brilliant.
On Saturday, but maybe watch the highlights. I'll be watching it live. Okay, so let's go into our predictions for the Chinese Grand Prix. We're going to do qualifying last, pole position, best of rest, and our top 5. We're going to get rid of race last.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of that one. So, qualifying last, Sinead.
Stroll.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like we might have a lot in common for this one because, is it? Because, me being like whimsical about it and trying to like think outside the box just means I get 0 points. So.
Okay. Best of the rest. So the person that is going to finish in pretty much 9th if the top 4 teams do finish the race. Basically the one that finishes after the top 4 teams. Last week was Behrman.
Lando.
But he's in the top 4 team.
Oh, you're not allowed to pick anybody that's in the top 4?
I don't think so. No, because they should be 1 to 8. Albon. Oh, fun. I've gone Lindblad. Pole position.
Russell.
I've gone Antonelli.
Oh.
Top 5. In 5th place.
Leclerc.
Please. I have also gone for Charles Leclerc. In 4th place, please.
Piastri.
I've gone for Max Verstappen. In 3rd place.
Antonelli.
I've gone for Lewis Hamilton. He's going to get his podium. And this is just for the race. This isn't for the sprint. We haven't done a sprint predictions because there is no time.
No, that's no point.
Second place.
Hamilton.
He's going to get his first podium. I have gone for George Russell in 2nd place.
Okay.
1st place.
Russell.
And I have gone for Kimi Antonelli. Lovely. Okay. This is going to be fun.
This is going to sound really stupid, but I keep forgetting about Max, which is so silly because he's like the greatest driver of all time.
Yeah, he really is good. Great. Okay, let's see if those predictions come in. Right. Formula Fun Fact. Sinead's go this week.
Yes. Formula Fun Fact is you kind of ruined it earlier, but not really.
Sorry.
So Formula Fun Fact is the most overtakes in 2025 happened in Abu Dhabi. 60. The most overtakes in Melbourne 2026, 120. And we still have 23 races to go.
The most overtakes in Abu Dhabi last year?
Yeah.
Wow.
60. And that's from F1.com, so it's definitely...
Yeah, no, I'm not denying that it's
sourced.
wrong. That's just funny. that was in Abu Dhabi, which is an awful track to overtake on. Okay, next up we have Quizifying.
Yep.
Would you like to go first, or are you sourcing your book?
You know me so well. No, I think I'm good.
So, do you want to go?
You go first.
Okay. Because it's the Chinese Grand Prix, there's a Chinese Grand Prix related question.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also, everyone's going to say it's biased, but I don't care. It's about Lewis Hamilton. In 2007 was Lewis Hamilton's rookie year.
Yeah.
And he was very close to winning the championship. In fact, he was on the brink of making history. All he needed to do was finish on the podium, and he would have won the World Championship. He qualified on pole, and he was leading from the start of the race. But he failed to finish. Can you tell me why?
He had to get to the Met Gala. I mean, I was never going to get it right, so...
But as in, like, did he crash? Did his car break down? Did
somebody...
Did he have a faulty pit stop?
Yeah, he had let's say he had a long pit stop.
Long pit stop, okay. Actually, very, very close.
Yeah.
He was leading by quite a long way. It was raining, but the rain was easing off. They were all on intermediate tyres. His tyre started something called delaminating, which was just like where the actual rubber was coming off. But they kept him out because they wanted to wait until it was dry enough to go for dry tyres. Eventually, they brought him in. In China, you sort of carry on straight when the track turns. You carry on straight to go into the pit lane. Carry on straight. That bit of the track was so much wetter than the rest because obviously there's cars going over it constantly. And he just continued into the gravel and got beached in the gravel. Didn't even make it to the pit lane. And it was heartbreaking.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. And also that's... No rookie has ever won in their first season, have they? Yeah.
And he then didn't win.
Probably
and that
never happen again either.
It wasn't the last race of the season either. So the next race was Sao Paulo, Brazil. And he also... Well, it didn't happen.
Right.
By 1 point. But anyway. So that is my little...
For someone who's had such an amazing career, he's also been pretty unlucky. Like, it's weird to say that as a 7-time champion, he's been unlucky, but...
I think there's like... If you take 6 Grand Prix results and change them with something that was close for him, he'd be like a 10 or 11-time world champion.
You're right, yeah.
Mental.
That is
okay,
crazy.
that's my... But yeah, there's my little quizifying question for you. What's yours?
Okay, well, mine's going to be really hard this week. Watch you get it right immediately because you know I'm sick of this. Right? In his career, Jenson Button has raced with not 1, not 2, but 3 members of the Verstappen family. How is this possible?
He karted with Max Verstappen's mum.
You can't hear it, but I'm giving a big eye roll.
He raced Max Verstappen on the F1 grid. And he raced Jos Verstappen when he started.
Yes.
Yes. Buzzing.
And for the record, Max Verstappen's mum is called Marie Kumpen.
Yep. And she was also a racing driver. Yep. I'm very proud of myself.
Yeah, you
In
should
fact,
be.
the Jos one was the hardest one, who was Max Verstappen's dad. I wasn't entirely sure whether he raced against him when he first started, but he did.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Lovely. Sinead, we have done our podcast for an hour.
Yeah, well.
We've attempted it for 48. So, I think it's definitely time to box, and we'll see you again next week for the Chinese Grand Prix.
Woo-hoo!
You've been listening to the Formula Fun podcast,
where Jay brings the formula
and Sinead brings the fun. See you later, everybody. Bye.
Beep beep.